Hello, everybody.
Hi there.
Hey, we're about to get started, so just a couple notes. All participants can ask their questions or share their opinions. We will answer any questions at the end of the session, and you can ask a question in the Zoom chat. If you do so, please pay attention to the chat settings and make sure you select to all panelists and attendees so everybody can see your question. You can also ask a question by voice. If you'd like to do so, please select raise hand in the webinar controls and the host will change your role. You can then unmute yourself and use your audio and video. Remember that it takes 1 to 2 seconds to switch on the mic, so do not start speaking immediately. And please be patient with the other participants and try to avoid speaking at the same time as them. So, welcome everybody to Gurtam TV in our final event of the all-digital CES 2021. Thank you all for joining us today from wherever you are around the globe. Deeply disappointed that we're not speaking to you live from Las Vegas, but that is the reality of these strange times. My name is Andrew Nelson, and I am a partner manager working out of Gurtam's Boston, Massachusetts office, where I work with our incredible partners across North America on our flagship product, Wialon, the ultimate platform for GPS tracking in IoT. Joining me today is a very special guest, our Chief Wialon Officer, Aliaksandr Kuushynau. Welcome, Aliaksandr.
Hi, Andrew. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here today.
Thanks for joining us, Aliaksandr. Before we begin our conversation, I'd like to briefly introduce Gurtam and Wialon to those who might not be familiar with us. So Gurtam is an international software developer founded in 2002 that provides GPS tracking and IoT solutions across a wide range of industries. Headquartered in Minsk, Belarus, we have 250 plus employees across the globe, including offices in Moscow, Dubai, Buenos Aires, and Boston. Gurtam's two major products are Wialon and Flespy. In fact, my colleague Sergey Luchanka gave a compelling presentation yesterday on Flespy, which is our innovative backend platform. And today we'll be discussing Wialon, which is our powerful, world-leading GPS tracking platform that currently has 2.6 million units connected in more than 130 countries. Aliaksandr, when you hear that statistic, 2.6 million units connected globally, that must be astonishing when you think back to when you started with the company back in 2009. Yeah, what was your background and what led you to join the Gurtam team?
Yeah. When I started with Gurtam, I could never imagine that we would reach that numbers and we would be the leading platform in that market for sure. 11 years back, it was really a small office, almost similar like Apple, though it was not a garage. But there were just 2 rooms on the first floor, just above the garage. So every morning we were walking through those cars that were repaired. Every now and then there were those alarms beeping in that building. And I still remember that some of our partners were visiting us in that very office where we stayed, I believe, for the 2 first years. Yeah, while I've been at Gurtam. Yeah, back then we were just less than 10 people, I believe. And that was the time when we only introduced the product that is now known as Wialon Hosting. So initially I joined the company to develop the commercial side of it, like business development and marketing, which was my major in the university. And before joining Gurtam for around 6 years, I worked in the marketing department of one of the major automotive brands in Belarus. And actually that was exactly the company which initiated the development of the first forefather of Wialon. Yeah, probably, Andrew, you never heard this story as well, yeah. But yeah, it started at Volkswagen Belarus, and yeah, we wanted to have a kind of at that time there were cell phones even not that widespread in Belarus, but we wanted to have a kind of positioning anti-theft system for the new vehicles that were sold in Belarus, and Volkswagen was the leading manufacturer in Belarus with around 40% market share. So that was the time when I've met Alexei Shurkov for the first time, and he started develop this very product for Volkswagen Belarus. But later, our company, I mean Volkswagen Belarus, we kind of scrapped this project, but Alexei still believed in it. He believed in this idea and contributed to developing this product on his own. And now you see through the years, Gurtam, Gurtam grew even much bigger than any of automotive dealerships in Belarus, and the amounts and the presence of our product is much wider than on the Belarus where it all started. Though my personal role in Gurtam changed and evolved, and through the years in Gurtam, work front of mine got significantly bigger, and now it covers all the aspects of Wialon, starting with design and development, up to marketing, technical support, consulting, and everything that goes around this product. So if anything you're happy with Wialon, you can thank me as well. And if there's one to blame, at the end of the day, I'm the one to blame.
Nice. Were there other tech companies or startups when you were growing in Minsk that you could exchange ideas with, or be part of a tech community? Or
that times Belarus and Minsk was pretty well known for its software developers, but most of the companies who were working in softwares, in IT projects, they were just outsourcing development services for some Western or American companies. They were not doing products themselves. And actually, Alexei, who is the major shareholder, and Denise, who is one of the founders as well, who started the company, they also were doing kind of a part of the business was outsourced development, and at the same time they were trying to do their own project. So it was a huge dilemma back then if they should invest all the time in doing a project that doing a startup that might bring zero profit, or should they continue earning quite decent money, especially for our European measures, earning quite good money and continue doing just typical outsourced development. So at that time, almost 20 years, almost 20 years back, they were brave enough to believe in that technology, to believe in vehicle tracking, to believe in GPS, and they put all the forces in the development of that product, which is, really greatest right now on the market.
Sure, yeah, and so obviously Gurtam has seen really incredible growth from, I guess, it's such humble beginnings. And so throughout those years, what would you say, how would you say the company developed and adapted to the market? What separated it from the competition, and how did that result in such, rapid growth? Actually,
a question of if the growth is rapid or not, it's also quite an interesting question, because since it was, you can call it a startup back then, and some people are still calling Gurtam a startup, if you are measuring with some global companies, there were a lot of proposals, a lot of investment companies and funds who were approaching us, offering, huge money for a part of the company, or just a round of investments. But it was still, and it is still, a very strong position of the founders of the company that we want to remain a family-owned and family-developed company that would go its own way. And the growth that we had through all those years, it was 100% natural growth. Not a single acquisition, not a single M&A deal was done, and every single unit that we connected to Wialon was gained through the partners that we have all over the globe. And I mean, how it all started, we were, I mean, back then, it was like 11, 12 years back, we were the first ones to introduce the product on this market in software as a service mode. Even though we never knew that term, and I still remember the time how I was surprised when I was browsing through an article in internet and I found that term software as a service, and I thought, it's something similar to what we are doing, and luckily there is already a word for it. So I was kind of surprised with that, yeah. And I mean, pretty same situation was with us doing web-based applications, because again, 10 years back, 15 years back, everyone was doing desktop application that you need to install on a server, or you need to download it first, then run it. And not everyone believed that such technological applications with maps, with all the reports, and it's quite an advanced application, that it can run in a browser, in a web browser, and you do not need to install it to have all the DLL files somewhere there in your computer or in a server. Yeah, but once again, Gurtam believed in that way, and yeah, and it gave us a lot of advancement in spreading the product. Because I mean, when new partners approached us, it took us, I don't know, maybe like it's enough couple of minutes, maybe 10 minutes to activate a new account on Wialon hosting right now, or maybe you're doing it even faster. 10 minutes, or maybe like 5 minutes in my times. Nowadays, you're doing it maybe, yeah, it takes seconds still. And you can imagine how long it takes to install a piece of software on a desktop computer or on a server somewhere there. When you need to download, you need to prepare the server and do this and that. It's, I mean, it's a lot of headache, really. And no, for sure, it's sorry. It was also kind of revolutionary that that we stayed only on software side, and we remained device agnostic. Yeah, and we were open to all the integration of new devices that appeared on the market. I believe
yeah, I mean, it really
are the main cornerstones of the success and our growth.
Absolutely. I mean, it is such an advanced platform, and I obviously don't have as much experience as you do with the product, but I mean, in my time here in North America and working with our North American partners, you know, I think some of the key differentiators that I see with Wialon is I think the seemingly unlimited possibilities and the flexibility. You know, I think, you know, Wialon has such dynamic functionality and endless customization. And I think, you know, the reporting capabilities are incredible, and also it's reliable. I mean, you know, we have SLA guaranteed uptime, which is huge. And I think that flexibility that I mentioned, to be integrated with more than 2,300 devices from, you know, 600 plus manufacturers, I mean, that provides so many options to our almost 2,000 Wialon partners worldwide. And not to mention, you know, the open API and SDK, which really opens up Wialon to innovative integrations, you know, many of which you can now see in our new marketplace on Gurtam.com if you check that out. We really have an outstanding team of developers who are constantly adding new features and updates, you know, while at the same time maintaining just a reliable and highly scalable solution. So I think, you know, right now Wialon processes, I think, just over 2 million messages a minute. And, you know, every day Wialon tracks more than 100 million miles. So those are remarkable metrics. And of course, the telematics, you know, industry is constantly evolving, and it's critical to keep up with that, you know, shifting environment. So what recent trends in telematics do you think are maybe the most important, and how is the company strategy aligned with those trends?
Yeah, you know, if talking about the trends, and that is what you started with, you see one of the greatest I see advantages of us as Gurtam and the Wialon community was exactly the partner community that we had, yeah, and the gatherings that we arranged, and the possibility to, you know, exchange information, exchange experience, get new partnerships, and all this was done on our lovely face-to-face meetings on the conferences that took place 10 years in a row in Minsk, plus on different continents. We had a smaller versions of our conferences. Unfortunately, the biggest trend is still that, you see, nothing is happening like this anymore, and we have to talk to you, not even being able to see who are the participants there in our chat and during our conversation here. And you see, that is the trend that affects you know, every business, and same happened with telematics as well. But generally, you know, when talking about trends, I remember like maybe a year and a half ago, I had that interview about the new technologies for one of the airline magazines, and I mean, we had like it was like 2 or 3 pages article. I mean, we had a short talk there, or maybe not that short, but eventually the interview got titled like, I hope we would not have to stay at our homes and have only remote connection to other people. My hopes. And it was way before COVID got to Europe. And, you know, now I'm here in the middle of Europe with some serious lockdown measures, and only grocery stores are still operational. And this time I'm not even sure if my kids would know the parties, the restaurants, and the clubs that existed back then. I mean, it's like a couple of months without going out, kind of strange for me as well. So my forecasting skills are kind of like doubtful. But from other hand, it's not that hard, you know, to notice things like video telematics, like advanced driver behavior, ADAS, and other features that we see they're gaining more and more popularity throughout different countries. This year, we will also introduce a new version of our video module. But generally, you know, thinking more strategically, I rather see Wialon as a platform that will have integration. Like you said, you've mentioned API, so we would have possibility and we will have integrations with multiple solutions, with applications to fit the needs of different markets. And rather this would be the way how we would be able to fit in all and different niches and meet the needs of our partners. We would not be the one to develop everything by ourselves, because we know how technology is developing, how many new great ideas are appearing on the market, and still we as Gurtam, we and my part of Gurtam, which is Wialon, we want to concentrate on doing something that is our core, you know, functionality and core possibility that we want to offer.
Yeah, and I think, you know, obviously it was the craziest year with COVID, and it changed how we do business and how we deepen relationships. But, you know, I think as far as trends go here in North America, you know, obviously our partners are constantly inquiring about video telematics. It's just become so huge. And especially now with the AI capabilities and, you know, predictive analytics for driver behavior, you know, whether, excuse me, a driver's distracted, whether he's, you know, texting on his phone or eating a bag of Cheetos, you know, while he's driving. But it's, you know, great. We continue to integrate all these new video devices and strengthen relationships with global manufacturers, you know, and at the end of the day, obviously we want to improve video functionality on Wialon as well. And I think one other thing that, you know, from the partners that I talk to every day, another interesting trend I see is the increase of compelling data visualization. So, you know, fleet managers, they want to see their key metrics in one central location. And so I think we've done a great job there, you know, introducing the dashboard features in Wialon, as well as in our web apps like Nimbus, Fleet Run, and Hectera. We're constantly adding and refining those dashboards. So, I mean, in Wialon, for example, we recently added new blocks for top units by mileage and top units by fuel consumption. People don't want to just read the data, they want to see it too. And I think it's great that our developers and designers, continue to enhance those dashboard features. So, I think the coming years will continue to be an exciting time for Wialon users around the globe. And with the rollout now of COVID vaccines, we're hopeful that those unprecedented challenges of 2020 are behind us. So basically, what's in store?
I want to mention here that with all those challenges, and all the turbulence that we've been through, I'm really honored to say that both about the measures that we've taken last year and the results that we've reached. It was really a difficult year for many businesses, but we've not only kept our community safe, we also had a growth of almost 300,000 new connections within the last year. So, and it's not me or like you, Andrew, who grew. It's our partners. And I want to thank all the partners who managed to keep their businesses, to sustain, and to be able to go out in that lockdown times, to do the new installations, to find new customers and find the way how their businesses are working in that very difficult conditions. So that is a really great achievement, I believe.
Absolutely. I think the partners have done a tremendous job worldwide and still growing during really severely challenging times. I mean, it's remarkable to see some of the growth that we saw. So, but now, hopefully that's, again, that those challenges are in the rearview mirror. And so what do you think is ahead for what's going to happen with Wialon in 2021 and beyond? What's the vision?
It's I hope to believe that it's already in our rear mirror, but whatever happens in the industry, whatever happens with the devices, with the vehicles, for sure there will be a day when electric vehicles or even autonomous vehicles will play a major role, and will have some bigger market share than they are having right now. Maybe it will happen in I don't know, dozen of years, maybe 5 years, and maybe even and we are seeing that a lot of OEM telematics are coming to the market. But what I'm sure about that, every year we are growing bigger, and we are improving the product in a way so that, and I believe in that fleet manager, be it a fleet manager of 2030 or fleet manager in 2025, he would still need our product, Wialon, and he would still be willing to pay our partners for the services that he can have with our product. For sure, we are introducing new features, and especially video telematics will be the key one that we are working on this year. Also, we want to pay a special attention this year to something that already exists in our platform, but which is not having enough, which is not understood well enough how to use. And that's what you said at the beginning of our talk, that Wialon has some deeper possibilities that one can use to solve multiple tasks and in multiple directions. So what right now we are working with different big data analysts to see the way the patterns, how the partners are, how the end users are working with our platform, and we want them to get some deeper understanding and to improve the way how they use the platform and provide them with a bigger, larger range of features and range of functionalities that each fleet manager can use and can benefit of.
Right, and that sounds great. And of course, we always value the feedback from our global Wialon community, and so please, continue to reach out to us with your comments and your recommendations. And also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out, Gurtam.com, where you can visit our blog and sign up for our newsletter that keeps you updated on all the product developments. And so basically, let's see if we have any questions in the chat from any of our partners or guests. Let's see. Amanda says, never waste a good crisis, right? What was the biggest opportunity during COVID for you?
Oh, actually, it's a, great approach. Yeah, whenever there's a crisis, if someone is losing, someone is winning for sure. Yeah. For us, in April, in May, when we when it all started rolling out throughout the globe, we've seen that huge decrease of the mileage of the fleets throughout the world, and we had some bad expectations back there. So actually, we were not thinking of how we can benefit of it. Yeah, gaming industry is benefiting because everyone is sitting home and they're wasting lots of money by playing online games. And for sure, if we would be thinking of just getting extra benefits, we could, be in probably even some other or next industries. But we thought, okay, if the industries are changing, then we need to look what's getting different. Yeah, and we understood, let's say that, okay, restaurants are not working, as we already know, in some areas at least, but the food delivery services are growing bigger, and grocery delivery services are, appearing here and there. So we invested more time in developing the modules in our platform that has to do with that part of the business. On the other hand, we've introduced a mobile application for COVID-19 cases, and I believe 2 days back there was a discussion here with your colleague Gisela about exactly those cases. So we are happy that we've been able to offer our partners a possibility to help in situation when we are working with lockdown, where we need to track the people who might be infected.
Mm-hmm. And we also, I think provided a lot for our partners too, and during that challenging time with our relief plan that we enacted. Yeah. We had the, the COVID-19 IoT Alliance, which, did great work as well. And to make Wialon certification free, which I think is a great thing because it increases, our partners' knowledge of Wialon, and there's always something new to learn. And so to have that done, I think over 400 people took the certification test, which is a really fantastic number. So,
the work to the gaming industry, in gaming industry, they have to sit home, play games, and buy sooner or later something, extra ammo or something. But we've made the certification test free, so you can either learn new something and have tests with us for free, or you can there is a chance to invest something in your virtual.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions from our participants?
I believe we should remind them that our partner community is active on forum, in our WhatsApp and other groups. And I'm also following all the groups myself. So whenever there is a question that someone wants to raise, they're free to do so, either through email to us or even in partners group. That's also one of the key differences of Gurtam compared to other companies. We've always, from the very first day, we've been open in communications. We've been open in our statistics. So You can, I mean, through web archive, let's say, you can see the statistics of Wialon hosting, the amount of units, the number of messages we're getting per minute. And that is why we believe, and everyone can check and see the numbers that we are having, that they are for real. And I mean, really few companies, yeah, in the industry are doing the same, are sharing real information on the achievements. So
Right.
that's the approach that we are having, and that I believe one of the reasons why our partners, I mean, have some belief in us, and they know that we are, I mean, we are open in communications, we are a reliable company, and if whenever they have a question, they can contact us, and they can contact us to get the question solved and to get help from our side, be it America, be it headquarters, which is in Europe. We are always, I mean, here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a transparency, and that's certainly valuable. Juan wants to know if we'll be developing a new app this year.
New app this year. I believe we already have quite a large number of apps that if we are talking about web apps, and what we want, I mean, it's not a question of number of apps that we are having. It's a question of number of apps that our partners are using, and the number of apps or number of features that they are able to deliver to the customers. And what we see from here, and what we see from the statistics, that there is still quite a serious gap between something that we've already developed and something that reached the end user of the platform. And that is why this year I want my team, both developers and marketing and technical teams and business, to put special attention into, you know, delivery of those features that we already have to customers. Probably in some cases we need to, you know, facelift them a little bit, make some features a bit easier to use, a bit closer, brings them a little bit closer to the customers, because for sure, and I understand the, you know, the flexibility is one side, but the other side is complexity. Yeah, complexity probably would be the right word. So sometimes it's not that easy to find something if you would be looking for something in Wialon. But and that is something that we want to work on, and that is something that we want to improve this year. We want customers to use the great functionality that we have, and we want customers to use the great functionalities that we would be introducing. So releasing a new app is just a release of the new app, yeah? What we want to achieve finally is that, I mean, among we have what, 2.6 million vehicles connected. We have like a couple of 100,000 registered users in the platform. And the question that I'm asking, if every user in the platform uses option X, yeah? If every user, or what is the percentage of the users of the platform that are getting benefit of this application, if they're using Fleet Run or not. And if we already have that application and customers are not using it, probably we should invest our time into improving that application, or delivering it, or bringing it closer to customers, or making it that effective or that interesting, so that customers would be willing to use it. It's not, I mean, the run of the numbers of applications. It's a question of how they're being used. And for sure, it's a question both to us, to our partners, and to the end users. And it should be solved on all the levels in that, yeah, in the tree.
And I think our developers are always doing a great job, because there are so many updates and new features every single month. I mean, you can see it. If you go on the Gurtam blog, you can see what's new for each month of the year, and that they're always improving something. And I think that's, a testament to the great team that we have. So thank you, Juan, for the question. I don't see any other questions. If you do have anything else that you'd like to know, say it now, or you can email me directly if you'd like. My email is a.nelson@gurtam.com. And do you want to comment on the map behind you, Alexander? Looks like a nice map you have up there.
Yeah, that's a historical something, but let's keep it where it is.
Nice.
You have also a kind of nice background back there, but I want to keep, Right now I'm living in a historical place here in, actually it's Vilnius, it's not Belarus right now. With all the happenings there in Minsk, someone from the team, I believe it's already around a dozen of people from Belarus, we've moved here to Lithuania, which is a bordering country, like 200 miles, maybe, less than 200 miles from Minsk. And we are continuing doing what we are doing from here. And it is a map because back there in the 17th century, there was a single state which was called Great Duchy of Lithuania, which was both Belarus, Lithuania, and a part of Ukraine and part of Poland, which are now as separate states and having their own fate. Hope all the fates would be luckier than they are right now.
Indeed. Thank you for that background. But we really appreciate your time today. I know you have a very busy schedule, so it's always great to hear from you, and as well for our partner community to hear from everyone. And any other questions, feel free to reach out. And hopefully next year's CES will be in Las Vegas in person and not at a virtual exhibition. But who knows what the future will bring. So
hope. Thank you, Andrew, for hosting that meeting. Thank you and your team for taking part in our first virtual exhibition, which is happening right now somewhere
somewhere
there, with our virtual backgrounds. But you're doing a really great job there, bringing life into our community, arranging that discussions. Thank you everyone who joined us here today. Thank you everyone who will be watching that video. I believe somewhere in YouTube you'll be able to find it.
Yep.
Maybe one day. Well, if you're seeing it right now, put like somewhere there. Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you everyone so much, and we'll see you all soon.
See you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.